Government Senator Lisa Cummins says there was evidence early on in its implementation that the introduction of the tax clearance certificate would cause difficulty for service providers from the smallest, such as mechanics, to the largest. Speaking during debate in the Senate to repeal the legislation, Senator Cummins says at the time she was the executive director of the Barbados Coalition of Service Industries, which conducted extensive consultations with service providers on the issue.
With the introduction of the tax clearance certificate measures, what we saw was the introduction of measures which, instead of enabling business to thrive, enabling informal service providers to enter the formal economy, we saw a retreat away from that. And we saw instead that we made it more difficult in this country, more burdensome, more bureaucratic, more challenging and more time-consuming to do business.
The Barbados International Business Association has described the recent budget measures as all-inclusive. BIBA's Executive Director Henderson Holmes says it involved extensive consultation with government, labor and the private sector. And he anticipates that this is a sign of the manner in which the country's affairs will be managed going forward. Mr. Holmes also reflected on the Prime Minister's remarks that the international business sector is under threat from active pressure by the OECD and her vow to champion and defend the industry. He says the Prime Minister's comments will certainly do well to assure the established businesses and prospective investors of how serious the government will be taking the sector. He says this is especially so since the sector has the greatest capacity to lift Barbados from its current perilous state because of its revenue and foreign exchange generating potential. All right, time now to take a look at how stocks traded on selected exchanges across the region.
We get started in Jamaica, where Pulse Investments Limited was the volume leader with 5,422,328 units, and they were followed by Wisynco Group Limited and Jamaica Producers Group Limited. And over in Trinidad and Tobago, the West Indian Tobacco Company Limited was the volume leader with 100,000 shares changing hands for a value of $8,850,000, and they were followed by Guardian Holdings Limited and Trinidad and Tobago NGL Limited. And here at home in Barbados, Sagicor Financial Corporation Limited was the volume leader, trading 9,498 shares at $2.25 each, and they were followed by Cape Shepherd and Company Limited and the Insurance Corporation of Barbados Limited.